Rockstar has finally revealed the next chapter in the legendary Grand Theft Auto series, which is set to release in 2025. That's 12 years after the GTA 5 that was released in 2013 on PS3 and Xbox 360. That's more time than from Vice City to GTA 5. Let that sink in for a moment. GTA 6 is taking place once again in Vice City in a mainline GTA game, which was last featured in GTA Vice City in 2002. So GTA 6 is like Vice City 2. While we wait 2 years for it to release, let's see if it's worth revisiting the original Vice City on its original release platform, PlayStation 2. Even though I have a deep love and nostalgia for this game, and it is my all-time favorite GTA game, I'm going to be brutally honest about whether it's an enjoyable experience today. I will specifically talk about the North American version of Vice City on PS2, played on real PS2 without enhancements that emulators could provide. I will mention those in the end though, so sit tight and let's go! There are many other ways, maybe better ways to enjoy this classic open world crime simulation today than playing the original on PS2, but that's exactly why I want to take a look at this original version of the game. When was the last time you saw this version of GTA Vice City, let alone actually played it? Yeah, I'd say the experience can be considerably different when holding the controller yourself, because this thing doesn't exactly play like a modern video game of this genre. For example, you can't control the camera pretty much at all. That functionality was added in San Andreas or the PC version of the game, if I recall correctly. Let me know in the comments if that's not the case, because I haven't played the PC version in 20 years or something. On top of that, the rough frame rate doesn't help at all. Some real frustration may occur at least when trying to beat the same mission a 5th time because you failed it for some reason that was completely out of your control. No pun intended. And while I'm still talking about the controls, let's take a look at the PS2 controller. As you can see, it doesn't have analog triggers, so in this game you accelerate by pressing X, yep X, not cross, and brake by pressing square. And if you are familiar with the DualShock 2, you already know these face buttons are pressure sensitive, or analog if you will, and this game somewhat utilizes them. I think they are better than not having analog throttle control at all, but they can also be a hindrance because if you don't press the button hard enough, you might not take full advantage of the speed of any given vehicle. At least it's only 2 stages in this game, slow and full throttle. So you don't have to push all you can to go top speed like in some other PS2 games. Graphically, Vice City or any of the GTA games this generation weren't much of lookers. That doesn't mean the visuals don't do their job or don't have an atmosphere, because Vice City shines in this department. Especially if you don't disable the trails option in the menu. Disabling this makes the game look flat and like the PC version looked. It disables the ugly motion blur effect, but it also disables lighting effects and screen effects like rain and blood splatter and makes it look a very different game. The glimmery sun effects is retained when trails are turned off though. I remember back in the day how confused I was when I started to play the PC version because it looked nothing like the PS2 original that I played before. Sure, it played better, but looked worse in my opinion back then. Of course, the mods made it way better as usual. The one good thing is that if you turn these trails option off, the frame rate improves from something like 20 to more steady 30 FPS, and that hideous motion blur effects goes away. But I think it loses all the charm as well. That's why I rather suffer the poor performance and keep the proper look. Running on an emulator though solves all the performance issues if you want to do that. The game even supports anamorphic 16:9 widescreen if you happen to have a proper CRT to take advantage of it. And of course, because it's so easy to fail in this game, you want to save the game after every single mission, and it takes kind of a long time for a PS2 game. And of course, you need to be at a safe house to do so. Driving back and forth gets old after a while. Sure, you could use these caps when you fail, but you lose all your shit. I guess you could also just cheat all your shit back. The game of this vintage has an option to do so. It seems you are still here and enjoying the video. I'd appreciate it if you subscribe to my channel for more content like this. Thank you. It sounds like I'm hating the game, but that's not the case at all. One thing, if you are going to be able to enjoy retro games, you just need to accept the fact that they mostly don't play like their modern counterparts. Vice City is still my favorite GTA game even after revisiting it for the first time in a long time. The atmosphere is simply superb, the characters and their interactions and dialogue are top notch, and even the voice acting is good. Can't say that about all games from this era.
Going out there, sticking my head out the door. No way,
I told you, shut up. I'll go myself.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hey, I like 1978 too, but you know, this isn't gonna be a beer and strippers do. I mean, no offense, but I think that you might turn heads on the runway for the wrong reason.
What's wrong with the way I'm dressed?
Okay, look.
I still love how sometimes when you jack a car, the passenger has meltdown brain functions and don't get out of the vehicle while I'm throwing out the driver, and then they scream until I can't take it anymore and let them out and run them over. Or not. Depends on the mood, I guess. Classic GTA gaming goodness. It doesn't hold anything back and doesn't suffer from modern brain farts. Vice City is just pure entertainment from start to finish. And of course, a cherry on top is that perfect 1980s soundtrack, which is fully intact of course in this original version. Of course, I can't play any of it here on YouTube. If you want to experience it in its purest form, give the PS2 version a go. More modernized versions are available, like the 2021's Definitive Edition isn't a complete dumpster fire anymore apparently. I'll continue playing the PS2 version because that's what I do, probably on emulator though. One great option is to emulate this PS2 version of the game and enjoy higher resolutions and other improvements like save states that would be very handy in this game. And of course, you could find the controls to be a little bit more modern layout like accelerating and braking using triggers. This unfortunately doesn't make it fully analog. It still has only two steps, slow and full throttle. I love this game and I'm glad it wasn't all nostalgia tinted memories saying so. It's a little rough around the edges, but for sure I can forgive a lot to enjoy these classic games. I hope the upcoming GTA 6 will live up to the hype and isn't completely ruined by modern PS. Watch next why I prefer to play these old games over the modern ones. Thanks for watching and bye for now.